Hey guys, so today I'm doing a video on what's in my box. This is my camping box, goes on the back of my car on my cargo rack. So it has basically everything I need in it for my style of camping. Thought I would share a little bit about what I put in the box and maybe why I put what I put in the box, depending on what the item is. So we'll start off with going around the edge of the box, and then I'll start to fill each section as I go through this video. Try to make it short and sweet. However, there are a lot of items in this box, so let's get to it. All right, so first up in the exterior of the box, I have a knife with a little guard on it. This goes here, slides down in the exterior pocket. My awning stakes that I put in the ground to hold the awning, which you'll see in a little bit. I put these in the far corner. On this side, since it's nice, wide, and flat, I put a cutting board. I tend to prep a lot of my food and put it in Ziploc bags before I go out. So I don't use the cutting board a lot, but if I catch a fish or something like that, I'll need it. Hatchet, which also works as driving the forks in the ground. I tend to put this here as well in the side pocket. And a glove in case I need to do some extra work. I tend to bring a glove. That goes right there. Marshmallow forks. They are expandable and compact right down. And I put these in this pocket. And lastly, for the exterior of the box, just 2 clamps. Never know when you'll need them, but the good thing is they clamp right on. One more thing, in this pocket, I put my Coleman shovel for those times where I mostly do dispersed camping, so dig a hole. That goes here. That concludes the exterior. All right, next up we have this section. I tend to put toiletries and such here that are not related to deodorant, toothbrush, etc. Put the first aid kit. I tend to put that standing up for easy access. Toilet paper. Dude wipes. So these are basically camping wipes, unscented, for refreshing. Same thing, but similar. Female wipes, pH balance. This is a urinal cup for a female. Yeah, that. Never used, but it's there. Just a cheap thing of sunscreen, and this can just drop in there if I need it. I use it. I don't tend to use sunscreen, but I have it. Now, since this box, this section of the box is a lot less used because I don't put a lot of things there, I tend to add a couple extra things from the food section. This is what I would call my cooking utensils, cooker, etc. But this becomes an overflow at times into this section. All right, so to do this overflow section, I've had these for a while. I don't tend to eat canned food while I am on camping trip. I like to cook from scratch and make delicious meals, but these stack nicely right there. And then one of my favorite things if I'm making a pasta to have is the ready-to-eat pasta fully cooked. These are great. You just toss it in when your meal's almost done, and these become quite delicious. So I just dropped these in here as well. Nice little section for them. All right, so first up in the food section, I used 2 reusable plastic plates and bowls. I think they were like $1 each. And I just dropped those in. Silverware. I bring my silverware from home, so I don't have to buy silverware. These can easily be washed. And then when I get back home, if I need to add these to the collection, I can pull them out now into the collection. I have a frother. I like to froth my my creamer for my coffee in the morning. I just stand that up in here. A couple other things I add in here that just stand up, and that's tongs and spatula. Again, just from home. I could buy an extra set if I needed to. I just tend to grab it, put it in my kit. Aluminum foil, great thing to have. I don't use it a lot, but there are times where I like to use it. It's good to have. Lastly, for this section, trash bags. Sometimes I put them on the side, sometimes I put them up top, sometimes I drop them in here. Trash bags are a great thing to have. Pack in, pack out. I'm gonna start with not a trusty cast iron pan, but my cooker. I use a New Wave induction, the New Wave Pick Gold induction cooker. I hook this up to my inverter in my car, and I can cook on the road. So I put this in here like this, and if you don't have an induction cooker and you use something else, for instance, I used to use a propane. I would drop it in right here, same area, and then I put in my cast iron pan. I have a baby cast iron pan. Sometimes I use it, sometimes I don't. And this is just to grab the handle when it gets hot. Ziploc bags, I love them, they're helpful. Not so helpful to the environment, unfortunately, but they're great for camping. If you have something you drop in a Ziploc bag, you can, and they work really well. Large Ziploc bags, because you never know when you might need a gallon size. Lastly, I tend to just drop this in here somewhere in my cooking area. This is just a jar that I use to drink out of because it has a lid the way it does. Keeps bugs out. For coffee in the mornings, I use the Stanley French press. Simply heat your water, push this down, and then the lid for it. I did a little extra to this and put a thermometer so I could see my temperature once it gets up to 200 degrees, which is where I like to brew my coffee. And that concludes my cooking section. All right, next up, this whole section has a lot in it. And what goes in here are a lot of odds and ends and things that I use, but may not use a lot. So I tend to put the things that I don't use a lot at the bottom and work my way up. So we'll start there. Fire starter. Right now it's fire season, so no fires to be made. Next up, additional fire starter. That's just lint from the dryer, and this is cotton balls with petroleum jelly on it, also known as Vaseline. Battery pack, because I have one in my car. This is just a trusty backup in case I need it. Same with batteries. So put the batteries in here as well. And if I need them, they're there to grab. Don't do a lot of music, but I have 2 speakers. And if I need some extra sound around, last couple trips I've taken, I haven't pulled those out, enjoying nature, but I have them. Battery pack. I used it on the last trip, not on my car, but on a brand new 4Runner who somehow got a dead battery. And as I was coming back from fishing the lake, came to the parking lot, they had a dead battery. I helped them jump it. I've used this thing more times on other cars than I've used on my own. It's great to have. Help others where you can. Tripod, I use it for my phone sometimes. I do have my camera tripod that I bring with me. 30-foot USB camping lights. These are made by Revel gear, and if you've seen my camping page, which is Prius Camping on Instagram, you'll see some photos of these. These little things are amazing. They're great to have. They just plug in USB. They're dimmable. Can't say enough amazing things about them. I don't use them a lot, but they're great to have. Water shoes, just a cheap pair of water shoes. Keep them in gallon Ziploc bags so they don't get anything dirty. Bag of paracords. It's great to have paracord. Sometimes you need it, sometimes you don't. I also have additional paracord that I use with my awning. These need to go in a Ziploc bag, but these are to connect the awning to the stake when I'm setting up the awning. These are suction cups for the awning because my car doesn't have a roof rack, so I just attach these to the car. Additional suction cups. Sometimes I might need stronger ones depending on the wind. I could use them for random things. I just drop these in as well. The Revel lights, you can use the suction cups to connect the Revel lights through the suction cups on your car if you want them in a different area than where your awning may be. An extra flashlight. My hammock. This is made by Hope Hammock. Not sure if they're still in business. Literally one of the best hammocks I've ever had. By far, in my opinion, so far more advanced than Eno. Incredible hammock. Couple last things, a strap. I have one of these in the car, but I also keep one in the box. It's not to strap the box down, it's just to have. Tackle box, because who goes fishing without a tackle box and a net? Another random thing that, actually, usually I keep this over here. This is for mosquitoes. You just open the pack up, put it in. If the mosquitoes are really bad, and this helps keep the mosquitoes away. All right, lastly, my chairs. These are great to have. They're fold-up chairs. They pack down really small, but they're also comfortable to sit in. I have 2 of these, so I tend to tuck one here, and then I put the other simply on top. Easy to grab on top. One of the first things I do when I open up the box is grab my chairs on my table. Speaking of the table, here's the table. Again, folds down. It's made by Trekology. And I tend to just put my chair, my table on top. Again, easy to grab, right on top. The awning I spoke of, I use a tarp. This is a 6x8 tarp. And I just take this tarp, connect it to the car, use my tent poles, connect this to the tent poles, stake it down, and pull it tight. That's my way of putting up the awning, and it's worked great for me. I tend to just stuff this down in here as well. Easy to grab off the top. And basically that concludes my box.